working connection. We're live. Okay. We're gonna get started because I'm gonna post this after. I don't want there to be a big pause at the beginning. But hi, I'm Katrina. I'm sure you know who I am. This is Steven. You probably know him too. My husband Steven. We got married almost a year ago.
Yeah, it's coming quick.
Yeah. And this is our little dog Luna. Hi, Anna. So we're going to talk about... I need to turn my phone on. Do not disturb. I paused. So we're going to talk about cyclesyncing with your partner. I'm really excited to do this. I was like, how can I incorporate Steven into this more? And I was like, Steven, you have no choice. You're coming on this live with me. So cyclesyncing with your partner is really powerful, especially, well, for you in your relationship, but also I think for your partner in your relationship, because it just kind of gives them a sense of where you're at. Hi, Saba. Hey, girl. And it can help just with, I think, communication and, just overall making your relationship better, because people that menstruate, our moods are constantly changing along with our cycle, and our energy levels are constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing, so it really helps if your partner kind of knows where you're at as well, and that they're not just like in the dust around this stuff. And it's really cool if they kind of like know a little bit about the phases too. So excited to listen to you guys talk about this. Oh, thanks, Sava. Okay. So we're just going to go through each of the phases and kind of talk about what you can do with your partner, and also what we kind of do in our relationship in each of the phases. Okay? So the first phase is the follicular phase, and this is the phase right after you end your period. So if you're not super familiar with the phases, just like watch this and then go back, and you can also like learn more in my stories. I have a whole highlight about the phases, but the follicular phase is the first phase right after your period, and it's about 7 to 10 days long. And this phase is associated with the season spring, and so there's a lot of fresh new energy and sort of new life, and you can think of like planting seeds and starting new things and that sort of stuff. So in your relationship, it's a really good time to like set goals together or go on a fun new date together. Steven and I like to go rollerblading when I'm in my follicular phase, or he'll go on a run and I'll rollerblade behind him. So this is like really the time where you're like right fresh off your period, you have a lot of new energy, and it's great to just like try something new together.
I feel like we do more like trips and stuff too. We try to plan more, not high intensity, but like what could be a little bit more stressful of an event, or we'll travel like that much a little bit farther, go out of state, go out of city. Yeah. Make little trips out of it that are a little bit more like spontaneous and spur of the moment. Yeah. Too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the follicular phase is like one of the phases where you have more outward energy to like interact with people more. So exactly what Steven said, this is a really good time to like plan a trip or like go somewhere for the weekend. Like we'll go up to the mountains for the weekend or something. Yeah, Luna agrees. Yes. So, yeah. And if you guys have any questions about any of these, let me know. Okay. And then the next phase is ovulation phase. So this is right in the middle of your cycle. This is about 3 to 5 days long. And this phase is associated with summertime. So it's like a really fiery season. If you're in a straight relationship, this is when you can get pregnant. This is when you're ovulating. So, if you're having sex around that time, definitely use protection. But in other parts of your relationship too, this is a great time to like go to a party or go out with your friends for like a night out, or have like a really active date. So Steven's been training for a marathon, and I don't really like to run, but I will run when I'm ovulating because I have a lot of extra energy. So I'll go on a run with him in this phase. What else when we're ovulating?
When we're ovulating, I think what we like to do. No, I think it's definitely like a more social time. Yeah. Like I think before we even knew that we were syncing like to your cycle, or we were planning events and stuff around it, we would just, looking back, we probably could match a lot of that phase to like having house parties with our friends, having people over. Not so much anymore with the coronavirus, but back before. Having people over or going to see friends. Definitely like the more social events that are still like they're still high energy in that way, but they're not necessarily like high intensity. So I think it was more still getting out, being social, enjoying other people's company, where there's some phases that I feel like we're more at home, but I'm skipping ahead, so we'll get to that next.
Steven is really knowledgeable on all this stuff, which is super awesome. And that's another thing too, I think, especially if you're in a relationship, if you're in a straight relationship, it's really powerful for the man to know about this stuff. Like, it's freaking badass, and it's so being a feminist, and it's so cool. And I think just the idea, or so often, especially men will be like, oh, she's on her period, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's so, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like,
we're over that.
I'll hear, like, I'll be at work, so I'm a firefighter. So it's still kind of, it's getting there, but it's kind of sometimes a dated profession. There's a lot of closed-minded people. But it's kind of funny because I'll hear people make some reference to, like, you know, like a wife or a girlfriend or a daughter or whatever, and they're like, oh, they're moody, they're going to start their period. And I'm like, you don't even know what phase they're in. Educate yourself.
Yeah, it's cool. It's manly to know about what phase your partner is in, okay, if you're in a straight relationship. Okay, so that was the follicular phase and the ovulation phase. Luna, you're going to knock it over, honey. And then, those are kind of like the outward phases. Oh, there's lightning. There's like a storm coming here. And next is the luteal phase. So this is what Stephen was talking about. This is kind of when you, oh my gosh, do you guys hear that? That's so loud. That was so loud. Okay, so next is the luteal phase, and this is when you kind of can turn inward with yourself and with your partner. So this is before your period starts. It's 10 to 14 days though, so it's pretty long. This is like the longest phase. Yeah, Saba, did you hear that? That was like really loud. And it's associated with, that's what I thought. I'm like, how can you not hear that? That like kind of startled me. Okay, it's associated with fall, the season fall. And so basically what that means is you can think of fall, I like to explain it as like, at first you have kind of a lot of energy and it's like exciting. When we were in school, it's like going back to school, that kind of energy. And then as you kind of shift towards the holidays, it's like slowing down, you're kind of turning inward. So that's kind of like what the luteal phase is like. So you might notice, so in the second half of your luteal phase, this is when like PMS stuff can start to come up. So you might notice like a shift in your mood, a shift in your energy. I know that I personally will get like a little bit more snappy when I'm in my luteal phase, the end of my luteal phase. And so communication and understanding is key here. Saba sent me a thing the other day that was like, if you can't handle me in my luteal phase, you don't deserve me in my follicular phase. Like, so amazing. That's like hit the nail right on the head. That's perfect. So it's a really good time in your relationship to do things that involve staying home and being cozy, like have a chill, romantic kind of date night thing. We like to set up, we have like a TV room. It's just like our spare room. We put the TV in. And it's not fancy. We'll like lay out the blankets on the floor and like watch a movie and stuff and have a glass of red wine. So yeah, that's kind of like the luteal phase mood. It's a good time to like do a strength workout together. What else? Anything about, like, the PMS stuff?
I just think that's more, like, we're getting better at the communication side, because I think that's the time where the lapse in communication can happen the most.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's also the time when it's going to have the biggest effect, either negative or positive, that something changes. So I think just knowing... I feel like my life's way easier because I just know... I mean, at our house, it's, like, announced. It's like, we're in the Ludial Phase now. It's, like, a big party every, like, 10 to 15 days or whatever it is.
I like the Ludial Phase.
So I usually know where we're at, so there's no surprises. But I think just having a knowledge of where you are is just easier because I can better plan what we want to do, or, like, if I need to get stuff done, I know more if it's something we're doing together, something we're doing by ourselves, or whatever else. So
yeah, it's not a really good time to, like, go. Oh my gosh, it just started raining so hard. It's not a really good time to go to a big party like we were talking about in the follicular ovulation phase, or not a huge trip. Like, it would maybe be a good time to go up to the mountains or something and stay at an Airbnb. We made the mistake actually
camping. Last
week of camping when I was towards the end of my luteal phase, which I definitely wouldn't recommend. But yeah, you live and you learn. And it's also, like, another thing I say too is, like, you can't perfectly plan everything around your phases, right? Like, that's just not realistic. But you can bring the energy of that phase, I think, into what you're doing. And so I'll get into this more as we move into the menstrual phase, but, like, yeah, you can always, like, bring the energy of what you want to be feeling. So you can, like, be like, okay, we're gonna go camping, but let's make it really chill. We'll just, like, sit by the fire instead of, like, going on a bunch of crazy hikes, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Okay, and then last but not least is the menstrual phase. So this is when you're on your period. It's 3 to 7 days long, and this is associated with winter time, so, like, turning inward, being home again still, being slow, that sort of stuff. So also a really good time to not do any really intense activities. So story about this. On Sunday, it was like the first or second day of my menstrual phase. And so I was, like, kind of feeling good. I was feeling better. Like, I had been doing the things to, like, take care of myself and slow down. And so I, like, thought I had some extra energy. So we decided to go to IKEA, and that was a huge mistake because it was so crowded. There was, like, a huge line out the door because we're only letting a certain amount of people in, and even inside it was so crowded. I was like, this is not right. This is not, like, coronavirus safe. But anyways, don't go to IKEA when you're in the especially first couple days of your menstrual phase. But yeah, we, like, kind of set the intention. We were like, okay, let's just, like, be chill. We're gonna pretend like there's no other people here in this IKEA. So we kind of, like, set the vibe for our menstrual phase IKEA trip. But also, this is a really good time to prioritize self-care, and it's a really good time to just, like, send your partner out to go do other stuff without you. We were laughing about this earlier. We were kind of, like, talking about preparing for this and what we were going to talk about, and I like, said that, and Steven looked at me like, the heck? Because when I'm on my period, like, all I want to do is be around Steven. I just get, like, really, I don't know, I just get really needy, I guess. But, yeah, if you don't get really needy, it's a good time to, send them out for a guy's trip or a girl's trip. So, yeah, anything else about the menstrual phase? I think patience is also really key here in both directions, and just, like, really communicating what you need and what you want. Nothing to add about the menstrual phase? We eat a lot of sushi in the menstrual phase. Seaweed is really good for you. High amounts of iodine, magnesium. Yeah. Cool. Well, those are the 4 different phases. And again, it is so badass to sync your relationship with your cycle. And tell your friends about it. Tell your girlfriends about it. Tell your guy friends about it. because how cool would it be? I always say, like, how cool would it be if everybody knew about this? Males, females, everybody knew that our moods and our energy levels were changing throughout the month. It'd be such a powerful world. So, yeah, that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to post this on my feed. Say bye, Luna. Love you so much. Mwah. Okay. See ya.